Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We
It's
have
time.
arrived. How you doing today? Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here. Let's jump into it. Cosmic weather. Compilation of the energies going on out there today. Starting off here looking at the astrology, planets, and the stars. Today we're at the 28th, so we see that our moon sign is in Gemini, so we know that because we made that transition yesterday. So our sun sign is Virgo, moon sign Gemini. Sun sign Virgo, earth sign, moon sign, air sign. So we've got earth and air. Those are the two elements we're working with. Think about how earth and air work in your life. Okay? Wind can blow and it can be a nice gentle breeze, or it can be real heavy and it can be hurricane-like winds and can blow all the earth away. So, you know, it's very important how these things work, or earth can just be so expansive that it covers up all of the space where air would exist, and there isn't any. So they have to work nicely together to be in balance. We look down here for squares and triangles that are of significance to us. Right here we have a triangle between Pluto and Mercury, between communication and deep transformation. Something nice and harmonious going on there. We have a couple of squares to be aware of. We have a square between communication and Mercury, okay, Gemini and Mercury. So that's its own sign right there. So communicating might be somewhat of a challenge we need to get past. Maybe watching what we say. Important things like that. Important when there's a square there. Important lesson. Maybe something coming out of this deep transformation that's going on our words and our actions. And then down here we have a trine between Venus and Gemini. Again, communication is in a good position with our imagination, love, creativity. So we've got some good aspects. We have a challenging aspect coming up right after, after the noon hour, which is that big one, that big lesson about what it is we say. Okay, how we say things, the way we communicate, a block, a lesson, something we have to deal with. Our moon phase today is third quarter, 48% full, making its way down to the new moon. Over at the Mayan Oracle, we're at the second day of this wave spell of the warrior. Wave spell of the warrior. Warrior's all about asking questions. Asking questions. Today we're all about synchronicity. The synchronicity that comes from asking the questions. Today the lunar tone is called the lunar tone of challenge. So today would be the lunar earth guided by the moon. Phrase for today is I polarize in order to evolve, stabilizing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of universal water. And today is one of those galactic activation portal days because we are 1, 2, 3, 4 columns over and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows up. Therefore we have that connection right there because of the way things intersect. Spaceweather.com, solar wind currently 459.0 kilometers per second. Planetary K index, right now we're quiet, but the 24-hour max is a storm. We were at a storm last night, big geomagnetic storm, actually for a good portion of yesterday. So if you were feeling some of those effects down on Earth, it's no surprise because we were getting hit in the midst of a big storm. Probably haven't heard about that because it's not like it makes the mainstream news whenever there's these type of storms. Alright, M-class, X-class flare down low, geomagnetic storm activity down low as well. A little bit more update on things. Here is Suspicious Observers report for today. There we go.
Good morning, folks. Top recommendation is from last night's news. NOAA's EVL giving us a 2013 fire map. Speaking of fires, NASA's Earth Observatory with a 4-day spread of the California Rim fire as well. St. Lucie, Florida lost 100% of state-funded oyster fields. The entire water area is toxic. Pet owners beware of a deadly disease that no vets can explain or even identify. Coastal Nigeria with an all-too-regular oil spill while flash flooding destroyed dozens of homes to the north. Observers, there will soon be an addendum video added to Chapter 1 of Starwater, as evidence for an anhydrous surrounding space is disappearing by the day. I'll have at least 2 additions, this one about the moon, and the possibility that Ceres could be the best place to look for life in our system, not the moons of Jupiter and Saturn as I purported in that presentation. Very cool stuff. Typhoon Kongray, checking in. Hopefully they're ready for it in Taiwan. Hope for a major weakening as well before it hits Japan. You remember Fernand, which dissipated late last week in the Gulf? Well, the rain event always outlasts the low-pressure vortice. In fact, this one dropped so much that over a dozen people have died in severe mudslides triggered by the rain. Solar flaring is low, but the sunspot sitch is looking better with backside development and mixing down south, as you can see right there. Up north, my mistake yesterday. That's a double negative umbra with a trailing positive plague, not a giant delta spot. My bad. The tremendous eruption visible off the western limb yesterday has officially been clocked and analyzed by Cactus. The word is that the fastest bits could have posed risks to satellites if it had been fired in Earth's direction. The solar wind indicates coronal hole stream with a front-leading density spike out ahead of speedier particles. In yellow and green, the hottest speedy particles are not naturally dense, but they catch up to the slower solar wind electromagnetically and bunch it up out ahead of the faster energetic shock. A geomagnetic storm was produced yesterday evening. Magnetometers showed the signs worldwide, and the front-leading density spike dinged the electrons. Interplanetary magnetics, showing Mars and Mercury sharing a magnetic connection to the Sun. Interestingly, this is on the backside of the Sun in this exact position. Still got the Earth-facing coronal holes to the right. They finally broke the quake drought with a majorly downgraded reading here and a 6-pointer ignored in Alaska 8 minutes later. Also what's described as powerful volcanic explosions in Kamchatka. The earthquake watch must come down to 7 as the coronal hole begins to exit, but we're still way below average statistically, so don't be shocked to see more. And now for something completely different, eyes open. No fear, it's 6:55 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Alright, there's a little bit more on there for you to listen to. Go ahead and listen to that, and then we're going to move on from here. Alright, the Pleiadians from the Pleiades. That's been our subject this week. So I'm going to continue on. So there's a lot of information out there about the Pleiades. You can go and you can find out people talking about where it is. You know, and that's important to know where it is. The constellation of Taurus. You know, but the most important thing is the message. What is it they're saying to us? Well, they're saying a lot. They've been channeled through a lot of individuals. I've played you 2 pieces from Barbara Marciniak the last couple of days. They're one of those who are out there assisting us. But we also have to pay attention because, you know, there are those who are out there that may not necessarily have the best interests in mind for all of us. They may have their own agendas, but that's not the case with everyone that's out there. The Pleiadians, as we have heard in the messages that come down, are positive messages of change that we're going through and what we need to do to help expand our soul, our consciousness. So, very important messages. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling and I'm just going to go ahead and play this. So, here we go.
conversation with the Pleiadians through Barbara Marciniak. 01 Awakening. Good evening. We are your ancient family. We come from the star system the Pleiades. We know ourselves as the Pleiadians, and we, eons ago, millions of years ago, were your relatives. When your Earth sphere, Terra, was being formed, there were many who expressed an interest to be pioneers and to go to a new area to learn, to experience, to formulate, to create. There was the opportunity, and many of our dearly beloved Pleiadians signed on. The Pleiadian culture is ancient. It was seeded from another universe, a universe of love, a universe that moved back to all that is. The Pleiadians seeded the Pleiadian star system within this universe before the Earth's sphere transfer became available. We formed a tremendous society. We operate with love. We operate with ideas and ideals that you are totally unfamiliar with. Our technology in your terms would be somewhat similar. We are, in your terms, computerized. We like that term because it represents an overall picture of our abilities. The picture actually only represents 1% of what we are capable of doing. However, from your point of view, think of us as a computerized society. We are collective energy. We are not of your dimension. The star system of the Pleiades has 7 stars, 6 of which we believe you may see from the naked eye. There are many planets, and we are millions upon millions of miles from your system, though we have transportation that can bring us here very quickly. We have many modes of transportation. Mostly we come in starships, often motherships. The motherships are gigantic, 1 of your miles, housing thousands. They are elongated, 1 of our fashions, and would take, in your terms, days to transport itself here. We have disk ships which can be here quickly, within portions of your day. We have difficulty at times translating your time system, your hours, your minutes, into what is relative to our system, perhaps less than 1/4 of your day. We are an advanced civilization. Our technology is ancient because it is coming from another universe that has evolved back to first cause. We chose not to evolve back to first cause, but to go on out of love, to assist the growth of this universe. We are allowed to bring that knowing with us because our technological development is totally in line with the first cause, and we would never operate in any fashion that did not support the love and development of humanity, of all creatures in all of this universe. So we were allowed to be here. We were welcomed. We are the ambassadors, in this star area, this universe, from another universe. We are working with many, not just with Terra, the Earth. We are working in other solar systems, with other planetary creatures, with other creations. This universe is a vast and new experiment. Different options, we like that word, are being attempted here. Free will reigns in this universe. On Terra you think you have free will, but you do not really understand what free will is. Free will encompasses the complete idea that whatever it is that you are wanting you may have. And your sole point in choosing to partake in the planetary system within this universe that has free will was so that you may do whatever it is that you wish. Terra was formed with specific intents in mind. It was formed to be a center for this solar system, a trade center, a launching pad for ideas. Much like, as different portions of your globe have developed, and different port cities, or areas came into fashion and represented trends, cultural advancements, exchanges of ideas at different points in time, and then fell by the wayside. The ideal of Terra's role would be the jewel within the universe for its beauty physically to the eye, and this physical beauty would be beheld not just in one dimension but in many dimensions. That it would be a center of tremendous beauty, of tremendous exchange, of freedom, of ideas and beauty and love, and peoples, humanities, creatures from all of this universe and star system ideally would have come here and exchanged what it is that, as goods would be exchanged in the marketplace, with others. Now, as you know, that has not taken place. Fortunately that is changing. Unfortunately, eons in your past, events occurred that were not anticipated, for when one deals with free will one never knows. There are no expectations with free will, just intentions and hopes. And even intentions sometimes may be transmuted. Now, that was the original intention. Then eons ago, millions of years ago, there was a disruptive force that became quite pronounced in this area of creation, experimenting as it would be, with another form of being. This experimenting was not evil, it was just another point of view. We speak in very neutral terms so as not to lay blame or prejudice on anyone. This disruptive force affected Terra greatly. It threw the cosmic forces, the hierarchies into vast confusion. And it has been all these eons, these millions of years that this has been attempted to be righted. Now, through the last thousands of years we have been assisting the higher spiritual forces, those from the first cause. Our assistance we freely gave because original family members came to this experiment of terror, and then when those disruptive energies became prevalent and changed the intent of what terror would be, we lost contact with the family members. It was very sad for us, for we had never anticipated this loss. Being that we as Pleiadians are highly evolved and of great knowing and great connectedness with the first cause, we knew that this was a temporary loss of family members, though temporary in our terms was millions of years. And though the initial shock was felt literally throughout the universe and universes, we formulated a plan and knew that there would be a time when we would be reunited. We are your family members who lost contact with you eons ago. We have come to retrieve you. We have come to re-establish contact, to assist you, so that you can now reunite with us, liberate yourselves and choose to come back to the Pleiades or to stay here on Terra and raise the vibration and allow Terra to become what it was originally planned to become, the International Exchange, Intergalactic International Trade Exchange Center for the Universe. Now, as you may well know, that upon looking at your planet you can shake your head and say, goodness, we have ventured far from our original goal. And, indeed, that is true, you have. However, at this time events are manifesting on your planet that are about to change all of that. It was known eons ago that there would be a point where the energies would be ripe for contact, for adjustments, for receiving energy for alignment. It was hoped that that juncture would be reached through the opening of the free will bodies, by their own choice, through love. That is not the case. You have reached critical times. It began peaking 30, 40 years ago, and the activities that have been occurring on this sphere have been of grave concern to all within your universe. The lack of love for humanity, for one another on this planet. Separations of self from self. The missing of the message that you are all one, that you are all connected, that what one does affects the other. Know that there are many millions on the planet out of the billions, who are awakened, who are moving toward the enlightenment, moving towards the acknowledgement of the first creator, in whatever minuscule way they can conceive of this vast entity. What is happening on your planet at this time is that the energy of the first creator is being presented to the planet as a whole. When we say, as a whole, there are no groupings that would be select over others. The opportunities exist for everyone. It is the individual humanity's choice to acknowledge the opportunity that presents itself. The awakened ones will be assigned, so to speak, to awaken someone. First creator energy is now being made available to the planet, on a vast level, vast. It's encircling the sphere. Light frequency is bombarding your planet, though only those who know how to use this energy can feel it. It is as if an invisible force is in your lives, and if you are not aware of this invisible force, you will not see it. Now, if the awakeners approach the Awakeners with love, with intent of service, with intent of changing the planetary potential, the planetary history, and also are willing to bond unconditionally with the Awakeni, it will be successful. In most cases, those that need now to be awakened are working about this in their dream state, and they are in a state of confusion in the waking world, and so they are welcoming something that will give them greater power and direction. The Awakenese will need guidance for a short amount of time because of the energy that is available, but the knowings will happen very quickly. Then they, too, will awaken and empower others. The more members, the greater members of humanity that are knowing, the easier the times ahead will be.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alright, Dirk, thank you very much. Today's UFO News has 6 stories. Let's get over to them. Story number 1 comes to us from the sun. Here's some more of these UFOs up by there. We've seen lots of them. You can see different types of unidentified objects. Objects have different shapes and sizes. UFOs are in different points in space near the sun. These objects have a material structure. Attention skeptics, religious fanatics, and those who believe the tales of NASA. Objects shown in the video are the real origin. This is not interference in the satellite, nor broken pixels, nor meteorites, not the particles, and other qualifications that tries to convince NASA. Alright, so something's going on up there. So, if at this point in time, if you're still listening to NASA and listening to what they say, then obviously you haven't heard all the stories about the misinformation they put out there. And maybe you might want to go and reference some of those and realize that they're not interested in telling you the truth. Because if they were, you'd be hearing and seeing this stuff coming from them or coming from our mainstream networks. But you don't. Because they don't want you to know. But I do. Here we go over to this next one. Triangle UFO flying over Berlin, New Hampshire. This was taken on Sunday. 3 minute 47 second video. Let me just kind of jump ahead here. Alright, there's something. There we go. Alright, this is our object in question here. Alright. That's what we got going on up there. Nice good triangle. Alright. Next is over Oregon. This was on the 26th. Amazing footage from Mojo, a professional UFO hunter, recorded over Oregon on the 26th. Mojo recorded some of the best UFOs over the United States in the past. It's hard to understand if these experimental military crafts are UFOs of unknown origin. Alright, that's a pretty good one there. Look at that. That's a real good shot. Alright. So links available so you can check it out, see what you think. Moving on. Here we have Sydney, Australia. This was on the 27th. This is our object in question right here, and this is where it is, and you can see how small it is, hard to see. He says, this was captured by famous UFO hunter Laszlo in Sydney. He hunts on a daily basis if the weather permits, and if he catches a UFO, he sometimes looks darker than other times. They look silver white. It's there and must be huge to see so well near the cloud. Looks to be about 3 to 5 meters. Okay, great catch, Laszlo, and this time he used a normal view rather than his typical IR filters. Alright, so very small, very small. Let's see if we can... Alright, I'm going to leave the link available so you can check it out, but this is what you're looking for right there. Alright? Now, this shot here is of the ISS. This was from the 27th, the other day. This shot here, well, this is pretty fascinating. Again, a lot of things shown up by the ISS. Here we go. Look at this object right out here. See that? Okay, now, some may off the bat, skeptics right off the bat say, oh, this is a reflection coming off the ISS. No, it's not a reflection coming off the ISS. You could see this is a particular object that goes from here to here. There's lights here. Apparently, this is the command center inside the ship. Okay? Your eyes have the ability to see things, and you have the ability to interpret things with your mind based on what it is you see. You don't need somebody to tell you you're not really seeing what you think you see. That's the government's job to tell you that. This, you are seeing an object out there by the ISS. Alright, so something's definitely up there, something's going on. Alright, and the last piece I have for today, this is an interview that I did. I caught up with Jessie Marcel Jr. At one of the Roswell conferences. I've played this in the past, so I thought it would be a good day to do a replay of this. So this is a short interview I did with Jessie Marcel Jr. and a little tribute to him as he just passed away the other day. Here we go.
This is Josh Poet of FirstContactRadio.com. I'm here at the Roswell UFO Festival with Jessie Marcel Jr. and we're just hanging out, waiting for the next event to take place, and thought we'd have a conversation. Sure. Jessie, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you. My pleasure too. So
I was just, in watching and hearing all the stories about what you experienced, as a young child, it must have been pretty amazing to see those parts for the first time and the excitement your father had.
Yeah. The excitement really caught on with my dad. I thought, this is something very special. Let's reason came by the house and showed it to us. And he said he thought this was like parts of a flying saucer. And wasn't quite sure what that meant, but after looking at the pieces, it dawned on me, this is not anything that we made. This is a creation from someplace else, which means we're obviously not alone, and there's some advanced civilizations out there who get here from wherever they come from.
And when you saw there were markings on there?
Yes.
And do you remember what the markings looked like to this day? And
well, they were more like geometric symbols, oblate spheroids, squares, truncated pyramids, and there's one I remember for sure. It looked like a seal balancing a ball on its forehead, like a triangle with a ball on top of it. That is the only one I remember for sure. The rest of them looked like oblate spheroids and triangles. How you doing? Good. Good. Sorry. But yeah, for sure there was that one, and the color was violet, purple, kind of reflective of light. So it's different. It's very strange.
And did it have any sort, when you held the material, did it have any certain feeling to it, or did you pick up any certain energy from it?
Well, the foil, there's a lot of foil, and it sort of resembled like the kitchen wrap of today, a foil, but it was different. It was certainly more substantial or heftier, but the weight was just like feathers. Okay. So it's different kind of stuff.
Now, what about the material where you crumpled it up and then it unfolded?
Okay. I did not do that myself, but my dad did. And he told me about that later. That you crumple it up, it would open up, and you couldn't crease it, or even tear it, I guess.
Okay.
So it was nothing that we made, I think.
This is Richie Rockstar. He's the guitar player in our group. Okay. This is Jessie Marcel Jr. His father was the officer who found all of the wreckage after it crashed.
Yeah, he brought it back to us, and I got the book. Oh, you did? Okay, well, you know that.
And as a small child, his father brought the material home, and he was one of the first ones, you and your mother, correct?
Yeah. He brought it by so we could look at this, and, as a game changer. And from 1947, I've known that we're not alone, that there's other guys out there who can get here from wherever they come from. So they're more advanced, obviously, more highly advanced than we are.
And did you have a feeling from that moment, or have you ever thought about whether their intentions were a good intention, whether it was a negative intention? Or?
Well, I tell you what, if we had something that they want, we wouldn't have it now.
Right.
So I assume their intention is okay, that they're not a malicious type of people. But who knows what else is out there?
Right. And now I bet you go to a lot of these type of events and talk a lot?
Not a whole lot, but occasionally, maybe once a year. Come over here, my friend. I'm going to video change.
Well, very good. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So there you go. A little interview with Jessie Marcel Jr. And it was good talking to him. And God bless you, Jessie, on your journey. And, now you know the truth. All right. That's it for the UFO news. I'll be back momentarily. I have a bunch more, so stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you
continue on. I got a bunch of things here, so I'm going to want to zip through these, all right? Okay, so here we go. Some of these things you're going to find unbelievable, maybe not so much. Outgoing DHS Secretary Janet Napolitano warns of serious cyber attack and unprecedented natural disaster. Outgoing Homeland Security Secretary has a warning for a successor. A massive and a serious cyber attack on the U.S. homeland is coming, and a natural disaster the likes of which the nation has never seen is also likely on its way. So prepare and bring a large bottle of Advil, Janet Napolitano told her yet-to-be-named replacement. What does she know that she could tell and say that there is a massive and serious cyber attack on the U.S. is coming? She didn't say it might come. She said it is coming. What does she know that she is not saying? And then to say about a natural disaster, how would she know that the natural disaster is coming? Again, what does she know? Something that you're not being told. I'm guessing that the general public saw this story and just went right over the head, not even thinking about it. Put this in with all the rest of the puzzle pieces, and it fits in very nicely. Now we move from there and we look and see. Pentagon labels founding fathers conservatives as extremists. George Washington would not be welcome in the modern U.S. military. Neither would Thomas Jefferson or Benjamin Franklin, according to the Department of Defense training documents that depict the founding fathers as extremists and conservative organizations as hate groups. The Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute training guide was obtained by Judicial Watch under the Freedom of Information Act request. It was acquired from the Air Force but originated from the Pentagon. This document deserves a careful examination by military leadership. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton told Fox News, Congress needs to conduct better oversight and figure out what the heck is going on in our military. Included in the 133 pages of lesson plans is a student guide entitled Extremism. The DoD warns students to be aware that many extremists will talk about individual liberties, state rights, and how to make the world a better place. Under a section titled Extremist Ideologies, the document states, in U.S. history there are many examples of extremist ideologies and movements. The colonists who sought to free themselves from Britain and the Confederate States who sought to succeed from the northern states are two examples. Okay, big piece of the puzzle right here. Are you hearing what's going on? They're saying that the founding fathers, the ones who created this country, they're listing them as extremists. What does that tell you? It tells you that they're at war with America. Our country was founded by those founding fathers. Thank goodness they were extremists, because they pulled away from Britain at a time when they were being abused. And now our administration, this administration right now, has the audacity to claim that they were extremists. We are so far from where we needed to be, and so far where the founding fathers set us up. Those who are in office right now, they are the terrorists. They are the war criminals, and they are setting up the American people to fall. But you can either listen to them, or you can listen to those who are talking about such things and stand on the side of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. You decide. Whose side are you going to be on? Are you going to go with the founding fathers and those who set up this country? Or are you going to believe in the likes of Obama, who can't even tell you who his background is? Shameful, folks. Shameful what's going on. Next, here's the act of a war criminal. Check this out. Obama gives Bush absolute immunity for everything. You know what this is? This is called betrayal. Days before Bradley, now Chelsea Manning, was sentenced to 35 years in prison for helping expose U.S. war crimes in Iraq, the Obama Department of Justice filed a petition in federal court arguing that the perpetrators of those crimes, Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, etc., enjoy absolute immunity against criminal charges or civil liability. The filing came in a suit brought by Sunda Shaker Salih, an Iraq single mother and refugee now living in Jordan, who alleges that the planning and waging of the Iraq war under false pretenses constituted a crime of aggression under the law, used under law in the Nuremberg trials. With neither Congress nor Obama willing to hold Bush and company accountable for the Iraq catastrophe, supporters see the suit as a last-chance tactic to force the issue back to the public eye. An effort the Obama administration clearly opposes, more all dispiriting all the increasingly flawed Bush-Obama lesser of two evil thesis and the current culture of impunity. Again, many of you voted for Barack Hussein Obama. Why? Because you believed he was different than George Bush. And then when I was at the Democratic convention, I talked to so many people, and all they could talk about is how bad George Bush was and how great Obama was. And guess what, all of you? Your great leader, Obama, just pardoned the guy that you said was so bad. He's telling them they are not guilty of the war crimes. So he betrayed everything that you believe of what that man is about. He's a liar. He's an absolute liar. And he's a war criminal. And who did he just pardon and say is now, has immunity? Other war criminals. That's what they do. Folks, get it in your head. We have a war criminal in office. There was a war criminal in office before. This man is going to betray you. If you voted for the man and you think this man is going to represent you, wrong answer. Betrayal coming your way, folks. I'm not going to be surprised because I already see what's going on. Many of you won't be surprised, but there's going to be many are because you got blinders going through life. Obama, Obama, Obama. Obama's a traitor. He's a war criminal. He's a terrorist. And the longer you keep believing that he is doing you right, the longer he keeps sticking that knife deeper into your back. Keep listening to the man, and pretty soon you're going to be dead. And it doesn't matter what color you are because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about blacks and whites and this and that. He just cares about starting wars and starting all kind of problems. Came in, Nobel Peace Prize, man of peace. Man of peace doesn't start war. Those are two opposite things. Peace and war, opposite ends of the spectrum. You can't have a peace prize and then go start a war. Doesn't work. Unless, of course, you're not who you say you are. Now, here's a story which kind of gets you shaking your head up. How could something like this happen? But yesterday, the other day, or maybe it wasn't yesterday, maybe it was the day before, ABC News, under those false internet, usually those false internet rumors about a famous someone's demise end with the word trickling through social media that it's a hoax, or maybe even a statement directly from the celebrity that he or she is just fine. Thank you very much. But in the case of Tuesday's rumors that astronaut Neil Armstrong has died, well, Armstrong is still dead. The part of the internet got wrong is Armstrong passed away a year ago. But ABC News mistakenly sent out a tweet, now deleted, that said Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, is dead. Question I have to ask is, how could they do that? ABC is a big company. There's lots of employees that work for ABC News. There's one person who probably tweets out the message. You mean to tell me that nobody there at ABC News could provide confirmation that Neil Armstrong had died, or when he had died, before they sent out that tweet? You mean they couldn't even remember that they did a story a year ago about the man who allegedly walked on the moon, and they couldn't get that right? How does this happen? Perhaps this was done intentionally to see how short-sighted people are, to see if people forget about history, see how quick they can forget. Apparently pretty quick, because you know what? The internet went abuzz that Neil Armstrong had died. My, there are so many people out there that just are so ill-informed about what's going on. It is just so sad what America has become, and it is so sad to see what Americans have become. Just so sad. Now today is the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech at the Lincoln Memorial. And on this day, the president is going to desecrate his memory by standing up there and giving a speech. This man isn't out to do the things that Martin Luther King said. If he did listen to them, then he wouldn't be doing some of the things he's doing. This man is a thug, and it has nothing to do with the color of his skin, but the content of his character. His character is thug-like. He's a flawed individual who is playing a role, and he's playing it very well, of someone who is betraying the people of this country and the people of the world. But many continue to believe him. Yet he is out there and he is talking about such nonsense and disgracing the very steps and the very memory of a man who was a great man, Martin Luther King Jr. Wasn't perfect, but he said some things that were very important. And now you got a man in office, a war criminal, who is going to... If Americans don't wake up to understand what this guy is doing, but I'm sure that there's going to be a lot, and there probably are a lot out there right now cheering, "Yay, Obama! Yay, Obama!" And you're cheering while he's spitting on Martin Luther King's grave. Martin Luther King Jr. is rolling over right now, and what's going on? What's going on is horrible. Horrible. I wonder if Obama actually listened to the words of Martin Luther King Jr. I wonder if the part about understanding how blacks and whites should be together and work together, I wonder if they got that, because there seems to be a lot of hatred in the world between those two races. And Obama, he just seems to promote it. He's just another one of those who's baiting a race war. Why? Because many of you think he's supporting you, the black community. No, he's not. He's a betrayer. He's going to betray all of you. You've thrown your support behind this man because he's misinformed you about who he is, and he's going to betray all of you with his lies. He's already doing it. It's not too difficult to find out if this man is doing what he says he's going to do or not. You could just make a T column. Things he said, you put on one side, and then after a period of time, you can go check. Did he do the things he said? Simple yes or no. If he didn't do them, you say no, he didn't. If he did do them, you can check it off. You make that list, and you'll find out that there are many, many things that this man said he was going to do. He's done the opposite. And that has nothing to do with the color of his skin at all. It has everything to do with the content of his character. And the content of his character is not very good. Not very good. But there's a reason why he's doing that. I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to play this video. While he's out there desecrating the memory of Martin Luther King Jr., I'm going to show you what I believe is really going on with Barack Hussein Obama. Here we go.
You can decide. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, Jesus said these words, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from the heavens." These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus spoke these words originally in Aramaic, which is the most ancient form of Hebrew. As you know, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. If a modern Jewish rabbi were to speak these words of Jesus today, he would speak them in Hebrew, much the same way that Jesus would have spoken them. So in Hebrew, Jesus said that he saw Satan falling as lightning from the heights or from the heavens. So what are the words for lightning and heights or heavens in Hebrew? From the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1299, a primitive root word meaning to lighten or lightning or to cast forth, the word is barak. In the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1300, lightning, or by analogy a gleam, a flashing sword, or a brightness or a glittering, the Hebrew word is barak. So lightning, or a flash of light, in Hebrew is pronounced barak or barak. Now consider this amazing fact. The book of Isaiah is the source of origin for the Christian concept and understanding of Satan, or Lucifer, as Isaiah calls him, in chapter 14, especially in verses 12 through 19. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, Lucifer, or Satan, is credited with these words, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Lucifer, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights, or from the heavens. The Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Strong's Hebrew word 1116, pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or the clouds. In Hebrew, the letter Wa is often transliterated as a U. Some scholars use the O for this transliteration. It is primarily used as a conjunction to join concepts together. So to join in Hebrew poetry the concept of lightning, or barak, and a high place like heaven or the heights of heaven, the letter U, or sometimes O, the Hebrew letter Wa, would be used. So, Barak O Bama, or Barak U Bama, in Hebrew poetry, similar to the style written in Isaiah, would translate literally as lightning, and the heights or the heavens, or lightning from the heights of the skies or the heavens. The word Satan is Satan in Hebrew, a direct translation. So back to Jesus' prophecy in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. If spoken by a Jewish rabbi today, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would say these words in Hebrew, the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 10, verse 18 as, "And I saw Satan as Barack Obama." Did Jesus reveal to us the name of the Antichrist? I report, you decide.
Okay, so, very interesting. Do we just say this is a coincidence? Because as far as I know, as long as I've been on this planet, people have said, listen to Jesus. Read the Bible, listen to Jesus. Here's a translation. Now, there are those who say, oh, this is incorrect translation. You know what? There's one translation out there where this comes up. There only needs to be one translation to show what's going on. Let him who have ears hear, let him with eyes see. Okay? All you have to do is look at all the things that's going on with this man. It fits right into the puzzle. Now, is he the only Antichrist? No. There are many of them out there. We see them all the time, betraying Americans, betraying the country. They're in our governments. What this tells me is that this is a time marker. That when this name, when Barack Obama is there, we know that we are at these end times. It's a time marker because he's the pivot point around there. So, yes, Obama is the Antichrist. The Antichrist is a whole lot of energies that are out there to try to affect humankind in an adverse way. Why? Because we're in a spiritual battle, folks. We are in a spiritual battle. And if you haven't really gotten that, then please take some time to understand what is taking place. One thing that's in common with all of our books of prophecy, the Bible, the books of the Old Testament, there's many, many books out there that have been written, talks about one thing over and over is there is a spiritual battle going on. So if there's a spiritual battle going on, who is this battle between? Well, it's between God and those who oppose God. So if there's a spiritual battle going on between God and those who oppose God, and we're at these end times, and the spiritual battle is going to accelerate until the final end here, don't you think this might be a good time to know which side you're on? Don't you think it might be a good time to state that to the universe so that the universe knows what side you're on, and more specifically, so God knows what side you're on? Remember the time the Passover? The angel of death came, and how did the angel of death know to pass over certain households? Because they painted blood on their doorstep, on their above their door. That's how the angel of death knew. It was a sign. So perhaps now, when this battle is getting ready to really accelerate, perhaps now might be a good time to give a sign to let the Creator know whose side you're on, so when they come down, that you are not one of those who are caught up in all of their collection of all of those who are causing problems. If you recall, the book of Enoch says that they are returning to remove the wicked and the ungodly. You should really put a sign out, let God know which side you're on. Are you on the wicked, ungodly side, or are you on God's side? You decide. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You got to decide for yourself because it's your soul. I'm just telling you there's a spiritual battle going on, and you need to really pay attention to that. Now, this piece right here, I'm just going to introduce, maybe play just a hair bit about. This is a piece that is
days, there will be a cleansing of the sanctuary. That means judgment will be announced, and there will be a people to announce that judgment. And we have seen in Revelation chapter 10 how through the unsealing of the book, the Seventh-day Adventist Church started preaching the Judgment Hour message. So 1844...
All right. That's really all I have time to play right now. I got to keep moving on. Hour and 20 minutes for the piece. Watch it. He talks all about how God has systematically been removed from society. And he goes all the way back to 1844, and he shows from that point in time how that's an important date and how this effort has been made from that point forward. A real effort to make sure that God is removed systematically. Till here we are in this point in time where God is gone. God is being removed. And here we have word coming down that when they come down, they're going to remove the godless and the wicked. So humans are wanting to get rid of God, make you godless. The beings in the book say they're coming down to remove the godless. So whoever's setting you up is setting you up to fail. They're setting you up to be godless, knowing that you are going to be captured and taken away because you do not have God in your heart. Somebody is setting you up to fail, and that is the organizations of this planet, the human organizations. Spiritual battle, my friends. It's up to you. You got to do what you're going to do. Got to do what you're going to do. All right, this piece here, it says, step into the true you. Everyone that is alive at this time in this world has something important to contribute to the grand scheme of things, to the all of it, to the all of everything. It is important that as many people as possible awaken to the life purposes to overpower the effects of darkness on this planet and its peoples. Every single person born into this world is at his or her essence a soul. This world is a learning ground where one can easily become confused at what this lifetime is really about and forget the knowledge that we always carry within us. We are at the core elegant, magical, empowered souls. We are beings divinely connected to the source of everything. So this is a great article. I want you to continue on. I want to keep moving on here. It's a long article, but it talks about the importance of stepping into who you are, finding that strength. And man, we're at a time right now where if you're going to step into who you are, now is the time. Okay? If you're waiting for a signal to step into who you are, consider this the signal. Now is the time. Go. Step into who you are. Because right now, it's necessary. If you're a being of light that is here to help this planet, now is the time. Go. Go. Activate. Step into who you are. We need to understand it's a spiritual battle, friends. It's a spiritual battle. I'm going to say it over and over and over again because many don't get it and don't understand. It's a spiritual battle, and if you don't get it, well, it's your loss, I suppose. Angel message. Let others be inspired by your example. Do not be fearful. Exactly. Let others be inspired and do not be fearful. We shouldn't be fearful because that is what we are told. Do not fear nor be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you may go. Over and over and over. The Bible is filled with passages. Do not be afraid. So don't be afraid. Stand strong. God has your back. Unless, of course, you've turned your back on God and don't want anything to do with God. But even then, God is a loving, loving Father who will welcome everyone into the arms with forgiveness, even if you've turned your back on God, because people make mistakes. That is known. People make mistakes. But we have to learn to rise above the mistakes and understand when we've made the mistakes. And turning the back on the Creator, that's not a very good way to go, in my opinion. But you're entitled to do whatever you want to do. It's your life. All right, here's our message. Archangel Michael and Lord Melchizedek.
Channeled message by Cindy McGonigal.
August 25th to September 20th, 2013. Channeling Archangel Michael and Lord Melchizedek.
Archangel Michael.
Hello to all of you who are awakening to your multidimensional soul work with planet Earth. As you open your higher self, your soul self, you will be able to help others to awaken. Don't withhold your light. Don't be secretive. This is the time to step forward, to admit the truth of who you are, what you believe in, and know that you are totally accepted by those who resonate with the light in your heart. As days pass into night, make sure you have taken some time for your own spiritual growth, and your needs to relax, not in front of the mindless TV which only dulls your gifts, but instead looking up into the sky, whether during the day or night automatically links you with your soul purpose. There is an immediate recognition of your place here on earth to enjoy the natural wonders which are free, cost nothing and bring you great healing at the deepest levels. By spending quiet time in solitude, with the stars, your galactic brotherhood of the light can begin to send you their telepathic messages and codes. Yes, your star codes once awakened will reveal your greater mission and divine plan you have long ago agreed to bring forth at this time. Any insights, visions, feelings you receive while sitting in solitude outside under the stars is important to remember and begin to incorporate into your life now. As an angelic guide for this great awakening, I am always available to you, just request me to help. You understand your role in the new earth and I will be your guide, as well. Your loving brother, Archangel Michael.
Lord Melchizedek.
Greetings, star families of the light. I am Lord Melchizedek. I work in tandem with Archangel Michael, also known as Lord Michael, and Archangel Metatron, known as Lord Metatron. Together, we work as a Trinity Lords ushering in this time of great awakening. For those of you who practice and meditate with us on a regular basis, know we come to you with ideas, plans and action steps for you to take to help others seeking the light at this time. Our teachings are always available, and though many humans channel us, we give our teachings freely, and you do not need to pay others for our information. We are here for you to receive all that you need now. As a trinity of light, you may place us in a triangle of light around you. Spend time calling each one of us to speak to your heart. Your heart will act as a portal, allowing you to fully realize your soul's contract for this lifetime. Take advantage of this planetary alignment in the sky. From August 25th to September 20th, 2013, during which time you have full access to your star guides and family of the light. Each one of you listening to this message has the ability to speak your own native star language as well. Practice listening to others on YouTube and other social media sites where you can see and hear others channeling their star language. You will immediately recognize your own language. Practice speaking it. I know this sounds foreign, but it will resonate with you who are awakening the galactic star codes within yourself now. In peace, in love, and in light. I am Lord Melchizedek of the Galactic Federation of Light of Orion.
Alright, very good, very good. Good messages. Again, I don't know how you feel about the Galactic Federation of Light. I know some of you aren't quite so certain. Listen to the words, okay? Nobody's asking you to jump on a spaceship with them. All they're asking you is to listen to their words that they're giving. That's it. So, just take it at that. Alright? Meditation time. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. And one more. And exhale. I want you to imagine that you are sitting on a mountaintop, looking over the world beneath. I want you to imagine that you're able to see all of the chaos that's taking place in the world, all of the way in which humankind is going crazy, warring with each other. I want you to see the hatred and the violence and all the other nonsense that's going on. And from your vantage point, as you see this, you realize that all of these qualities are absolutely nonsense and do not lie in synchronicity with the plan of the great Creator. So you imagine channeling love through you and sending it down to those areas where you see all of these problems. And you send this love down there, and the hatred is removed. The doubts are replaced by faith. The fears are dissipated. People stop fighting with each other. And God is returned to God's rightful place. Just imagine sending this love and this light and knowing that you can make a difference. Imagine understanding that there is a spiritual battle taking place. And that as you fully understand, you begin to know who it is that you side with and who it is you need to be aware of. And as you contemplate all of the activities taking place in the world and you realize the battle going on, you know that this is a battle for souls. And this is an opportunity for a soul to show their true integrity, their true worth. Are you going to side with spirit, with the spiritual side of things, or are you going to side with the human side, the warlike side? And as you contemplate, you understand there's really only one decision that makes sense: spirit. So the more you focus on spirit, the more you are able to bring spirit into life. And as you walk through life, shining bright, the spirit that flows through you, the love that is flowing through you, others see that and are inspired by your example, and they do the same thing. And imagine one by one around the planet, people standing in their power, inspiring others, and lights being turned on one after the other. The lights of love, the light of truth. And as people all around the planet wake up, it becomes very easy to see where the disease is that needs to be healed. So we heal the problems. We heal our disease for war. We heal the disease of hatred, of violence. And in healing these diseases, we find that the ease of peace and faith and love are able to express themselves. So let's imagine as we go through the world today, sending out love. Let's send out love right now to all of our brothers and sisters around this planet. Let's send out love to the places in the world, to Syria where they want to go fight, to protect all of those innocent people that are there from the terrorists that want to go and create them harm. And let's just imagine a wave of love and peace going around the world, so strong that it counteracts any of the negative influences that the Antichrist or any of his minions want to impose upon this world. And last, let us just understand the words of Jesus Christ. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, now and forever. Take a deep breath, my friends. Exhale. Take another deep breath, knowing that God has your back. Exhale. And one more deep breath, and ask that your mind is open to understanding the mysteries of the universe that you need to know at this time. And exhale. And go ahead and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's it for today. That's our show, our prayer, our meditation. Look, things in the world are getting really hairy and crazy out there. But this is great. This is great because for those who are here to assist with this transition in this time, we are finally here. The waiting is over. So now we can get on with our work of helping. So there's a lot of you out there. We're all part of this. We're all part of this transition. So let's get with the program. Let's assist this transition that's taking place. Let's forget about the hatred and the anger and all that other nonsense, because that's not of God, that's not of love. And let's lead with love. Let's lead with God, and let's create and make this planet what it is supposed to be. First thing we got to do is we got to get rid of all of those who are causing the problems. And we do that with love and with light. Keep doing that, my friends. It works, and we're going to make a difference. Above all else, don't be afraid. Nothing to be afraid of. Angel children, earthward sent. Life is light, there is no death. Follow the star that lights your way. It will lead you to the perfect day. That's it, my friends. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Be safe. Love ya. Peace. And I'm out of here.